my experience with being off like social media for a week. There's nothing long. I know guys like, oh my gosh, Pablo, you're low key brave for that. Bro, people do like 2 months, 3 months, a whole year minimum. I just did a week just to see how I would react. And to be honest, I think that it's not necessary, but I recommend it that you should kind of disconnect for, I say, like a week, just to kind of see how you act and see how things around you change. Not just people, but how you change towards some things. Like for example, for me, like I would not do my homework. I would wait till it's like Sunday or Saturday, and then I start to study and do things super late. But this was just like because I found myself getting lazier and lazier as the weeks went by in my school year. So I was like goofing off and then doing the workload when it was like time to really get down to the nitty gritty. So and the reason why I wouldn't do it is because I would be on my phone a lot, doom scrolling and just kind of seeing what people were up to. But at the end of the day, it's not like, bro, it should never be about what they're up to. It's what am I gonna do? Like I feel like social media has normalized us like having to do like something crazy every single day, like something eventful. I mean, it like every day should be eventful, but everybody has a different type of eventful days, like your typical like famous person goes out to have dinner at like a expensive place or something. And like they're like skydiving or something crazy. And then you have like your typical average Joe that like their event of the day or like their highlight of the day was getting some coffee, getting some matcha, and then watching a movie. Like it's just very different. And I feel like social media low key has made us subconsciously compare ourselves to these famous people that have a lot of things to do and that have far more privileges financially or like just like not having to work, like some of these people like don't have to move a muscle and they're like, they're set for life because obviously they probably put in that work beforehand or they just pass down. But what I'm trying to get at is just like, don't compare yourself to those people that are far more older than you because we all move at different paces. And maybe one day you might be up there. Or maybe one day um you're gonna achieve that type of success. And which you will. If you really believe it and you really put your mind to it, you will most likely, most definitely be as successful as your idol or like a celebrity that you look up to. Because it's all starting up here, right here, guys. Starts up here. Once you start to change that and reprogram it to having a successful mindset, a disciplined mindset, a lot of things are easier to obtain. But it all started with disconnecting from social media, right? That helped me a lot. I didn't compare myself to people all the time for a week. For a week, it was just a week. It was just a week. I'm telling you, this one week, low key kind of saved me. I'm not gonna lie. So it was one week, and in that week, like I said, stopped like comparing myself to other people, as in, what they were up to, what I was up to. I stopped getting distracted so easily. I just stopped texting people, a lot. 'Cause I would text a lot of people, not a lot of people, but I would text people a lot throughout my day. So it would take up all my time. So in that week, I found myself being more successful, not just with the homework, not getting my homework done, but going out, starting a podcast, going out to different locations, tapping in with nature, as they say. Time to ground, people. Waking up at 6 in the morning grounding is not insane, actually. I think it's really good for you. I have not tried it yet, but when I do, I'll let you guys know because I know that it's like something that a lot of people do that I should low key be doing. But sometimes, look, ain't nobody got time for that. Quite literally, ain't nobody got time for that. There's times where I have to go to work at 4 in the morning. Bro, by 6 in the morning, I'm still at work, guys. I'm not just gonna take my shoes off at work and be, let me just ground real quick. Yo, get back to work. All right, damn. Sorry. But yeah, anyways, more of this is just disconnect if you really, wanna try a little experiment out. And it doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost anything. So I recommend you guys to do. I think it's gonna be really good. And, yeah, let me know how it goes if anybody does it. Just a week, just a week, just a week. I forgot to include is I got closer with Christ, um, throughout my whole walking with Christ. It gets really bumpy, guys. Trust me, it's really bumpy, and especially the closer you get to them, it gets even more bumpier. But this week, I didn't get too close. I didn't get closer to Christ, but I kind of found myself, realizing where I stand with my relationship with Christ. Like I found out where I stood. I was like, I need to put in more work. I need to dedicate more time, which I have now implemented. But if I'm being 100% honest, I have not implemented like a lot more time. It's just a little bit more time, you know? Um, but yeah, anyways, we sometimes like to dwell in the past, but it's not good to really live in it. Uh, and I say this because, like I mentioned before in the beginning of this video, I'm in the spot where I grew up. Like I literally almost like had what, like 50% of my life in here. I'm just kidding. It was like a cool like it was for a couple years. I would be here at this exact tree, not at this exact tree. That's kind of weird, but like in this park, coming with my family, playing soccer, football, going to the park in the back. I don't know if you guys can see it, little park in the back, but you know, I sometimes find myself thinking and dwelling in the past of, oh, how things were and how I was as a kid and how I was in high school, all these cool, amazing memories that we've built. And we've never thought that like something so random would be a good memory. Like sometimes like in my high school, I'm like, dude, like what is Pablo 2 years from now gonna be like doing? And like this has nothing to do with a memory, right? But in reality, it did. Like, I always catch myself thinking about when I would hang out with my friends in the library in, senior year. I feel like that was peak of high school for me sometimes because it was like I got so close with so many people. Not with, like, a crazy amount of people, but I built a solid friend group, um, and we got super close, and that is priceless. I feel like if you have a solid friend group, that is priceless. Just after school every day going to the library and just talking about our days and how stressful or how eventful they were. And it was just something so simple with my friends. And sometimes we'd be like, "Oh, you know what? That happened as well," or we just kind of relate on some things. And sometimes we would even go out after school. We'd go walking to go get lunch or go into my friend's car. Angel, shout out Angel. Angel is one of my best friends. This dude, man, telling you, in high school, I wasn't able to drive. I couldn't drive, and I know. Everybody, I mean, times are changing. I see a lot of kids now in high school driving, like a lot more kids. I'm like, when I was in high school, I don't think that many kids were driving. But anyways, that's cool. Shout out to you guys that are getting to it. But he'd be that one friend that we all know that would drive us around to every spot and then take us back home. That is something that is awesome. Shout out Angel. If you guys have a friend like Angel, please appreciate them and show your appreciation to them because in another world, Angel could have been like, you know what, man, I'm not gonna take you anywhere. I'm just gonna go home. Probably just lie that he's going home, but he's not. But yeah, shout out to him. But yeah, we would go out, go hang out, and it consisted of like five of us, maybe six. But then it went down and down to like four or three. But even then, like that is just that's beautiful. Because we're like actual genuinely friends, genuine friends. We're here to listen to each other's problems. We're just here to listen to each other. Sometimes someone just needs somebody to hear them out and not just give them their input. That's something that I also learned in therapy is for the most part, I didn't really care about what I didn't really want to hear what she wanted to say or like my problems, like how to fix them. I just wanted somebody to listen to me, and I wanted to feel listened and heard, and that's what a lot of people I think need sometimes. And if you have that one friend that you can, sometimes shoot a text like, "Hey man, are you going through anything?" or "How are you doing?" or "Do you want me to just listen to your problems?" Like that's awesome. I feel like a lot of people need that sometimes, and sometimes we don't even realize it that we need it. Um, but yeah, make sure to reach out to any friends. Like, "Hey, what's going on?" Or maybe if there's nothing going on, just hang out with them or have a little chit chat, because that little chit chat can honestly save someone. from doing a lot of harmful things to themselves. Not saying that if you don't talk to your friend in the next 5 minutes, you're a terrible person. No, no, no. It's just that sometimes people are going through a lot of things, and it's kind of noticeable, or you might be able to pick it up, and then you actually want to start acting on that. But that's not with everybody, thankfully. That's just with some people, and I hope that those people that are watching that are going through something, I hope that you get through it, and you are gonna get through it. It's just a matter of time, and yeah, just have faith and yeah, trust in the Lord, and He's gonna help you no matter what. Yeah, you got this. But yeah, I used to be a bigger guy in high school. I used to be pretty fluffy, as they say. And I honestly didn't mind. I really liked that. I really kind of I didn't mind being big. I mean, not until I started going to the gym and I realized like, damn, like it's not that hard to lose weight. And it's not that hard to build muscle. It's like I realized like, damn, I should have been doing this a long time ago. I should have been in here like a year ago. And if I did start working out my junior year consistently and honestly started eating good, man, I probably would have been in like a really, really good shape by now. But I don't regret it. I love every part, every bit of my life, how it went. And I feel like you should as well. It's it's okay to regret some things, but we should also appreciate where we're at and how far we've came in this world, in this life. Because regretting a lot of things, honestly, is kind of unhealthy. You know, let's just be grateful that we're here. You know, in this moment, watching the podcast. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But watching the podcast, right? Grab a snack, grab a drink. You know, still got like 10 more minutes of this. Maybe I don't know, but yeah, I don't regret anything. Um, There was a lot of health risks growing up. You know, a lot of my doctors would tell me, "Hey, man, you gotta start eating healthier. You know, you're not the healthiest kid around here, man." I remember my doctor vividly telling me, he said, "Hey, Pablo, it's time to eat carrots, man. It's time to pick up those vegetables." And ever since then, I hated vegetables. Every vegetable that I heard of or I saw, I just wanted to snap. Just kidding. But I was just kinda like, cause it would remind me of my doctor. It would be like a like them, like, mocking me or something like, "Yeah, man, come on, eat the carrot." And it'd just be like, "What the heck?" Like, man, how am I getting offended by an object, by a vegetable? But it is what it is, guys. Don't regret anything in your life, please. Don't regret anything, and just accept it and be okay with why it happened and who you are as a person now, you know? And I know we hear this all the time. "It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes." But genuinely, it's okay because we are human. Like, as humans, we were made to make mistakes and to learn from them and grow from them, and that's how you become Sigma. I'm just kidding. But people, a lot of smart people, or the wisest people, I guess, the wisest man has made every mistake known to man because that's how he learned from it, and that's how he's, wise enough to not do it again. And even if you do it again, I feel like you should still be okay and know that, we're not perfect. And I feel like one of the things that I think about sometimes is, man, like, I'm glad I'm not perfect because if we were all perfect, that'd be kind of boring. Like, imagine I don't know. I just feel like sometimes being perfect can be boring. I feel like in high school, a lot of kids, not a lot of kids, but some of the kids that they try to show themselves as perfect, kind of were boring. That's a very hot take of mine. Maybe because I wasn't, I guess, I wasn't relating to what they were doing. I didn't like the way they dressed sometimes. I didn't like the way they acted. But that's just not my like. Just because I didn't like it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It's just like we were just not in the same. We're just not clicking, and that's okay. But yeah, I just feel like sometimes being perfect is kind of boring, man. And sometimes being weird, as they say, weird. You're the weird kid or you're the weird girl. I feel like that's cool sometimes. Because you have a lot of character to yourself. That character development was crazy, and we all know what I'm talking about. There's many things that we all do or have been through that cause crazy amount of character development. Some good, some bad, some sad, and some things that we're not really as glad that happened. But like I said, it's okay. Let's not regret it. Let's accept it. Um, but yeah, anyways, in school, all the weird kids. not all the weird kids, but some of the weird kids, and I say quote unquote because they're not weird people. They're just interesting. No, they're just their own person. I feel like we should not be labeling them as weird. They're just their own person. You're still in school, could be high school, college, or doing anything in this world. Don't change who you are to fit in with the cool kids. Like those cool kids have a lot going on, and I don't even think they want to be themselves sometimes, you know? So if you're yourself, and who cares if they call you weird? Who cares if they leave you out of things? You at least know who you are. And that's really powerful sometimes in this world. Knowing who you are is really powerful because imagine putting on a mask for so long and then having someone ask you these questions that they think are you and that think that you might know of, but in reality, it's just that mask that you're wearing, and you kind of get knocked off. You're like, oh crap, like damn, I don't know this answer, or damn, I'm not really like this IRL. You know, just be okay with who you are. You know, be okay with joking around about certain things. Be okay with taking certain things serious. I feel like some people might be called. One second. I feel like people might be called, "You're such a snowflake" for taking offense to certain things. But it's like, man, I didn't think that was funny. I don't think your friends think it's funny. I just think you're the only one that thinks it's funny, and that's okay. You can think it's funny, but just don't insult other people just because they don't agree with you. You know, respect people's opinions. Respect how people are. You will most definitely live in a more peaceful mind. You just truly just respect people's ways. Um, but yeah, be yourself, guys, please. Honestly, I've been myself this whole time, my whole life. About one time, maybe one time actually, I found myself switching up who I was to be accepted by people, groups of people that I didn't really want to be accepted in. I just thought they were cool. But that's what I'm telling you guys is, it's from a learning experience. Be who you are, man. Honestly, love yourself. And if you don't find ways to do it, think about how far you've came. Think about the things you do. Think about the people you impact. And you might be like, I don't impact anybody. I don't listen to nothing cool. I don't dress cool. I don't know who I am. This is when the mind work starts to tap in and you start to really you should have a sit down conversation with yourself and be like, damn, like, what do I like? What don't I like? What offends me? What doesn't offend me? What music do I think is cool? And just kind of answer all those questions wholeheartedly and honestly and don't think about what other people are gonna think? Maybe you have somebody out there that wants that is like you, similar characteristics to you, but they don't know anybody. Not until you get out there and portray yourself as who you are, you know? Just be honest with yourself and that's it. Not trying to control everything. I feel like it once we think that we are able to control everything, that's when we lose everything, including our mind. We are not that guy sometimes. In reality, we are not that guy or girl, whoever's watching. So let's not try to control everything. Let things be. Let them flow. But we have that one person in a relationship that tries to control everything. And in reality, you just can't. You really can't. I know a lot of people that get mad over like their partner, like for example, some guys like, man, my girlfriend's going to a freaking concert. No, no, no. That might be debatable. That right there, I'm gonna let that be. We have something so simple as, man, my partner's going to a family party. I'm gonna flip out because I can't control them and I can't tell them to not go. Like stuff like that is just gonna cause more and more stress. Because guys, at the end of the day, someone's gonna do what they want, regardless of who's there, who's with them, and who's watching. I've heard a lot of stories of people doing some outrageous things in front of the family, in front of the partner's family, or in front of their friends, and truly they don't care. So whoever's watching this and thinks that they can control everything in the relationship, I'm here to tell you, and you probably don't know me, but who cares? You cannot control everything, and you should just let things flow. And maybe if you don't like the way things are going, let them go. We are not their parents. At the end of the day, it's two different brains that are trying to work as a team. So instead of trying to control them, instead communicate how you feel and tell them that, you might not like this idea, or you might think that a better idea, or you have a better option, or just tell them how you feel, honestly, man. And just try not to be that one person that controls their whole relationship. Because honestly, man, if you're in a relationship and it's such a controlling relationship, you might not even want to be in it anymore, because it makes you feel like you're doing something wrong, and you might truly question yourself and be like, "Am I a bad partner? Am I in the Am I even in the right relationship?" So yeah, try not to control everything that happens in your relationships. You'll live a more peaceful way, actually. But anyways, guys, it has been your host, Pablo. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing and liking, which I don't care if you do, but if you do, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. With that being said, there's nothing else to enjoy in the background, just a park. But I'm gonna get out of this frame, and yeah, bye, guys.